Thanks for your purchase of your portable building. This is a video basically explaining our installation and the process of how these buildings go together. So first off, we'll start with delivery. You've either chosen to come down to our yard and pick it up yourself. We'll give you a call when your building's ready to go. Or secondly, you've chosen an option for delivery and you've either arranged that with us or with a third-party company. Just we'll contact you when it's done and we'll go from there. Okay. So now you have your package at home. Your package is going to come together. It's going to be all banded together with metal straps. Grab your pair of tin snips and cut all the straps open. Offset all your pieces off to the ground. You're going to have your cardboard box. We'll go over this in a minute about the parts and pieces that are in there. If you have a front or a rear wall kit, those pieces will all be shrink wrapped together in a package so you don't mess things up. Your metal cladding is on the very bottom of your package. Sometimes you'll notice there's a different color sheet or the same color sheet. The top sheet is what we call our cover sheet. This sheet is strictly used just to protect your package during transportation from forklift or damage. You don't have to use this sheet on the building. You're welcome to if you would like to, but it is not part of the actual order. So you're free to use this for your own preference. So now you got your package at your place. You're ready for your installation. So we're going to go over the parts and pieces of your package. In your cardboard box, you're going to find a whole bunch of parts. You'll find a little bag, and in that bag is self-tapping gasketed screws. They got a rubber grommet on there. These do not need to be pre-drilled at all. They're a self-tapping drill. You'll also be given the choice of 2 anchors. We would have discussed this with you upon ordering. If you're going into concrete, you're going to be given a 7-inch concrete wedge anchor. You use a 1/2-inch Hilti drill bit to drill this into your slab. Or if you're going into asphalt, dirt, or gravel, you'll be given a 30-inch rebar anchor. This gets sledgehammered through the base rail. In that same box, you'll find a bunch of 9-inch dowels. You're wondering what these are for? These are for connecting your rafter to your posts. As well as, we have 24-inch corner bracing. This goes in the corner of most rafters, and the smaller buildings, it also goes in the center. In that same package, you're going to be given, obviously you're going to have your posts, whatever length of post you got, that will be there. You're going to have your metal cladding. You're also going to have your rafters. They'll be on that package. If you've ordered an A-frame building, you're going to be given galvanized hat track. That's your metal strapping. You will also have your base rails with the dowels pre-welded on. Then we'll move over to the trims. So you're going to be given a trim. This is to finish off the edge of the roof lines. We'll go over the installation of this later, but this will be a 3.5 by 1.5 inches. This goes on the edge of the roof line. If you've ordered sides or front or backs, you'll be given 3.5 by 3.5 trim. This is for the corner of the buildings. And if you've ordered an A-frame, just at the very end there, you'll see you'll have a hat track, or your ridge cap. That also caps the top of the roof line. Okay, so you're ready to start assembling your rafters to your posts. Lay all your rafters out on the ground, grab your posts, as well as your dowels, those 9-inch dowels we were talking about. You're going to slide that into the bottom of the rafter. It will stop. Once it's at its position, grab one of your screws, put a screw in the top and also on the other side. Then grab your post, slide your post into the dowel. Once it's in, grab another screw, put a screw on this side as well as on the opposite side. Then you'll find your 24-inch corner braces. You're going to put your corner brace on the rafter. And we like to see the corner braces get screwed into the posts. So you're going to put 1 screw here and 1 screw on the underside, 1 screw up top and 1 screw on the underside there as well. If your building is 14 or smaller, you also have another one of these. This is going to go directly in the center of the rafter. This will get screwed on both sides of the rafter as well. If your building's over 14, you'll notice there's a collar tie already on there that is welded in for support. Okay, so you've been given your rafters and your posts are all together. You'll notice on each rafter there's a black pencil mark in the middle. Make sure that you have that black pencil mark facing the same direction as you set your frames up. In case there's any variance in the bending process, this will make sure all your rafters are equal on either side. So if you have a rear wall kit on your building, you need to clad that rear wall. One tip ahead of time is to pre-lay that sheet out. So if, for example, if this is your sheet, you're going to grab that sheet. If your building is 12 feet wide, that sheet will also be 12 feet long. You're going to lay that sheet right on top of a rafter. Then you're going to grab your pencil and you're going to scribe that rafter slope on that sheet. This will give you the abilities to cut this sheet without having to go up and down a ladder to measure the angle. It's just a nice tip that makes things so much easier for you on the installation. Okay, so you have all your rafters and posts together. Now you're going to want to grab your base rails out of your kit. We recommend grab your base rails, set them side by side. Make sure your dowels line up to each other. You do not want to flip one of your base rails and find out your dowels are offset to each other. Bring your base rails roughly to their location. Grab your tape measure, and if your building is a 12-foot wide, hook on the outside to outside and make sure it's 12 feet. If your building's 20 feet wide, do the same thing. Make sure you're 20 feet. Find that location is good. Once you do that, grab a long tape measure and corner square your building. This is very crucial to make sure your building is square. This will make your installation 10 times easier. Once you've determined your location for your base rails, you're going to want to anchor them down. Once again, we have two different anchor styles. We have a 7-inch concrete wedge anchor. This would go into that pre-drilled hole that you've drilled into your concrete slab, that 1/2-inch hole. You would drop your anchor in and then tighten it up with a wrench. If you're going into asphalt, gravel, or dirt, you're going to grab your 30-inch rebar anchor, insert it into the hole, and sledgehammer it down. Some customers of ours have been worried about the wind. So one recommendation here is some clients will dig a hole about the size of a fence post hole, put 2 or 3 bags of wet concrete in there, and wet set this pin into that concrete. That works really well for wind and for uplift. So now your base rails are anchored down to the ground. Then you're going to grab your post, which is now attached to the rafter. You're going to grab it with a friend. You're going to stand that post up completely. You're going to grab your post and you're going to bring it over to your base rail and slide it over top of your dowel. At this point, you're going to look at your building, the land of your building. If it rolls a bit, there is some variance here. You can pull your post up or down a little bit on this dowel to correct the lay of the land. Once you're happy with that location, you're then going to grab your self-tapping screw. You're going to put 1 screw here and 1 screw here on both sides again. Do that all the way around, along with all your rafters, and now you officially have your frame set up. So now you have your rafters and your posts on your frame. Next, you're going to open your pallet. You're going to find your metal cladding for your roof. So if your frame is 20 feet long, your metal cladding will be 21 feet long. The metal cladding is meant to hang 6 inches over the front and 6 inches over the back. If your building is longer than that, you're going to have a joint in your sheets. Your sheets will overlap. In that overlap, they'll overlap by about 1 foot. It's recommended to put some caulking or even some butyl tape on that seam. That will help keep the water out. Remember earlier we were talking about adjusting your post for height? You can also do this to put a bit of a back slope or a front slope on your building so that you get a shingle effect so that the water will shed in that direction. So grab your metal sheeting that you need for your roof, lay it down beside your base rail. You're then going to grab your tape measure. You're going to find that 6-inch mark that we were chatting about. Then you're going to scribe right at the 6-inch to the outside of the post. You're going to put a pencil mark. And you're going to do this each dowel along the whole building. What this is going to do is when you get that sheet ready to go up on the roof, you're going to transfer this sheet up. You're going to have 1 ladder on this side, 1 ladder on the other side. You and a helper are going to bring that sheet up to the top of the roof. This will give you the capabilities to find those pencil marks so your rafters or your posts and your rafters are not leaning one way or the other. It'll keep everything perfectly square and plumb. So now you have your whole frame assembled. All your sheets are laid out on the ground. At this point, you're going to set up 2 ladders. you and a friend are going to transfer your sheets onto your roof. Be careful while you do this. You're going to bring your very first sheet to the center of the building. Now, if your building is a 14 or a 20 wide, your first sheet will not go dead center on the building. Your first sheet will actually meet at the middle. So basically your peak will be right at the meet point. What we recommend is to overlap that section by 1 knuckle. What you're going to do is, instead of knuckling under 1 you're going to knuckle it under 2 to give yourself a little bit more coverage just on the middle. So if you look at your sheets, you're going to have 5 high ribs. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember earlier we were talking about the pencil mark on the rafter. This is dead center of the rafter. You're going to line that middle rib up with this pencil mark. That will give you the determination where that sheet's going to sit. Once you've got that figured out, then you're going to grab a screw, and we call these the valley, or the high ribs, and this is the valley. You're going to put 1 screw in the valley. So you can put a screw here, and then on your next section here. You do not need a screw here, here, and here. Just 1 screw goes in the valley. Once you got that sheet tacked down the whole way down, make sure your center marks are lining up. Then you're going to grab your next sheet, and it's going to knuckle right underneath this first knuckle, just 1 knuckle, and you're going to do the exact same process the whole way down for your whole building. Okay, so you got all your cladding on your whole roof. Your building's assembled. All you need to do now is finish it off with some trim. There's no purpose to the trim, it just looks pretty. The trim will hide the hard edge of the metal. This either comes in white or black. So you're going to grab your piece of trim out of your package. You're going to lay it out on your roof. You're going to hold it like this. But you notice your building rolls in the corner. So what you're going to do, this is done on this building already, but I'll just show you how we do it. You're going to grab your square. You're going to find the first high rib where it turns. You're going to then grab your pencil, and you're going to mark that line straight down. Grab a pair of tin snips and cut the face only of the trim. Then that trim will fold to the next high rib. You're going to do the same concept, fold, same concept, right to the bottom. This may hang long. You may want to cut this for length. Once again, we'd like to thank you for your purchase of your metal building. If you have any questions or concerns as far as the installation goes, feel free to give us a call anytime at 604-799-8282 or get contact with us on our website. Thank you.